What's up, everyone? It's Flex coming to you again from my home gym. Just want to do another video now that Mark Carney has been coronated, selected, whatever terminology you want to use there, and talk about his policies and the disingenuous nature of how he is talking about them and the fact that the media is not calling him out. So he has said repeatedly now, and all the other liberal MPs are falling in line, saying they will eliminate the consumer-facing carbon tax. Now, they are choosing their words very carefully because they are not going to back off on carbon taxes. Mark Carney is a net zero zealot. He's a zealot. He's an ideological nutcase. Okay? So these people are not going to stop. So what they want to do, and they're not talking about it as much, but they have admitted it, and it's just not getting that much airplay. I don't understand the media in Canada. But anyways, well, I guess I do understand. They're all liberal sycophants. Okay, so what he wants to do is bring in an industrial carbon tax. So he wants to tax manufacturing. So to give you a little bit of background on me, I'm a professional accountant, and I've been working as a senior finance professional for over 25 years, with 20 of those years in manufacturing. So he is trying to pretend that these taxes are not going to have that much of an effect on consumers because he's lying, saying that they won't pass the cost down to the consumer. Of course they will. Companies have targets for margins and return on investment, and they're not going to change those targets. They're just going to pass that the industrial carbon tax onto the consumer. Of course they will. And he also disingenuously said, using steel as an example, and he said to the in person interviewing him, he said, "Oh, how much steel are you using these days?" Well, what a silly comment. Walk around your house. Take a look how much steel is in your house. Appliances, tools, hardware, furniture. Go out in your garage. Look at your cars. Go out in your driveway. There's steel everywhere in your home. Okay? Like, what a disingenuous comment to make. Yeah, sure, we don't buy rolls of steel or tube steel or anything like that, but we all have tons of steel in our homes and in the stuff that we buy. So, what an absolute jerk. So, the other side of all of this is the uncertainty, right? For those of you who saw my CBC interview last week, I talked about that in relation to the tariffs. Tariffs are creating all kinds of certainty. They're wreaking havoc in the markets. They're wreaking havoc with the value of the Canadian dollar. And when these liberals keep flip-flopping on all their policies and talk about capital gains tax and then reversing it, and talking about carbon taxes and these taxes, they create uncertainty in the marketplace, okay? They're disincentivizing investment in Canadian manufacturing. And manufacturing in Canada is already expensive. We have high fuel costs, we have high energy costs, we have high taxes, we have high labor rates, and throwing a carbon tax in there is just going to make things worse. It's going to make things worse. People won't want to do business in Canada. People already don't want to do business in Canada. They're going to make it worse. So the last thing I want to talk about is the thing that nobody is talking about, not even Pierre Poilievre, and he should, because he's the one that's running on the Axe the Tax campaign, and he needs to be clear with people, and he should know this, that when they axe the tax, prices are not going to immediately fall, okay? So what happens when there are increases to inputs and costs, prices rise very quickly to match those, okay? But when input costs and taxes decrease, prices do not decrease near as fast as they increase. It takes some time for the market to readjust. So yeah, whoever gets in power after the next election, and even if they make good on their promise to axe the consumer-facing carbon tax, we're stuck with these high prices for quite a while, okay? Inflation is still around 2%. Prices are still going up. Consumer price index is at a 19% increase since 2019, and prices are still keep on going up. So, vote Poilievre. Do not vote for Mark Carney because he's crazy and he will tax us all into oblivion. Peace.